Spoke about the evolution of the stand-up scene. You said it's very new in India, and you've been there
15 years, yeah.
Yeah, and you've been there for a while now. So in a way, you've tracked the evolution of it. You're also part of a comedy troupe. How has comedy evolved in India? What is could you summarize what it looked like before and how it's changed over time? What's
So
it been
first
like?
of all, earlier when we started, it was very, very urban. Bombay, Bangalore, Delhi, maybe Pune. That's it. Little bit in Calcutta, a little bit in Chennai, but Hyderabad very little. So these three cities, very urban, very. It was an imported product from the West. The people also who first got comedy to India were guys like Veer Das, Papa CJ, Karan Talwar. They were all of them studied abroad, in the US or UK. They saw it over there. They did some shows over there. They understood that game. They got it here back to India. They moved to India. Say, hey, let me introduce this to India. Basically, that's how it started here. Then in India, there was a comedy store which came out. So the comedy store was the first comedy club ever. A comedy store from London. It's still there in Piccadilly Circus in London. The comedy store, very, very old and established comedy club. So it must be 80-year-old comedy club. And so they came up, they started in India in 2010, 2011. They came up with in one of the best malls in Mumbai. That time people didn't know what is it. Comedy store ka matlab kya? People used to think that you get funny hats and costumes and
Prank store, yeah.
Prank store, like a prank store. Yeah, they used to think it was that. Actually, people used to think, kya hai kya? नहीं लोग आके आपको हंसाते कैसे क्यों? Like it was like that. Then used to say, अरे जैसे आपको जॉनी लीवर हंसाते हैं, राजू सिवा से हंसाते हैं, ऐसे इंग्लिश में आपको हंसाते हैं. So initially, it started with that. It was very, very urban. Then initially, just to let you know, in Comedy Store, there were no comics in India. So they used to actually import comedians. So comedians used to come from UK, Australia, visiting comedians used to come here. They used to do shows on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And they used to go away. They used to fly back on Monday. Okay, and because there were no comedy, so you see what happened, the comedy scene in India started building. Again, it was English. Dhire, 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 that English, that thing broke and it became Hindi. So, and Hindi just took it to a very different level. You know, in terms of suddenly in a country like India where Hindi is so popular, just took it to a different level. And now what is happening is, not now, in the last few years, you have comedians in Tamil, comedians in Marathi, in Gujarati, in Sindhi, in Telugu, in Malayalam. What you name the language, it is there now. You know,
does the language change anything apart from access to audience? अगर आप कुछ joke हिंदी में कर रहे हैं versus English, does it change the comedy itself?
The words sometimes in Hindi are so powerful, so funny. A word like chichora in Hindi is so funny. See, you just give a smug as is a word, chichora. You just laugh.
It evokes an emotion.
Yeah, sometimes it's just our languages are so powerful. You know, I mean, I don't know many other languages. Like in Marathi, I love this word called tras. Mala tras nako diya. Tras is nothing but don't give me stress. But that it's a very frustrating word. Like it's like a tras is not even just stress. It's like a very frustrating stress. Mala tras nako diya. You know, so it's like that. So that word tras is beautiful. I just love that word. Sindhi has got some words like that. So like that. So our vocabulary is so powerful of our languages that, you know, I mean, it's not a surprise that all these exponentially they have, like, there's this friends of mine from Gujarat, they do comedy, the Comedy Factory, it's a collective. And they recently sold like a 2,000-seater in New Jersey. Only Gujarati comedy. Okay. It's like the Grand Theatre of New Jersey, that 4-store had like the best room over there. They sold it out. Okay. You know, like Zakir just sold out MSG, Madison Square Garden, you know. So I'm just trying to tell you is that this would have not happened with English. Hindi has taken it to, you know, now like people like Zakir, some of the Hindi comedians have taken comedy to a place like Ajmer. They do comedy shows. You know, as English comedians, we can't even think of those places. Ajmer, Raipur, still they are much bigger cities, small cities. You know, like there's comedy happening now in Jamnagar, in Rajkot, in Valsad. You know, because one thing good we have in India, population. You know, 300, 400 people will come. As long as you supply their need, they will come. As long as they know that you are there, they know about you, they know you're going to come meet love. So, paisa bhi hai logon ke paas, you know. They will, smaller places, they can afford a 500 rupee, 1,000 rupee ticket to come and watch you.
Earlier, there used to be a lot of comedy troupes, a lot of comedy groups, collectives, and you were part of one. And amicably, you went your own way as well. So what happens? Is this like a rock band curse that often you see many groups and then later everyone goes their own way? What happens with comedy as well?
That was the initial part where the comedy scene was very, very new. It was 2013, 14, where it was still new. I think EIC got formed in 2016, if I'm not mistaken. It was still very, very new. So we just thought working together, we'll do projects together and things like that. And it worked also. AIB worked, we worked, SNG worked.
TBF.
TBF, right?
TBF, yeah.
The Viral Factory, yeah. So they were, all of us worked. Then slowly, I think what happened is each of the became stars by themselves. The comedy market was going strong. Like in EIC, the problem which we face is that we were 7 of us. If all of us would do together show, first of all, everybody, like if I'm getting tomorrow my own private show somewhere in Bombay, but now with EIC I have to go to Bangalore. So first of all, what happens in a troupe of 7 people, you don't make too much money. Because whatever that collection is divided by 7. And then you imagine that same 30-40% not further divided by 7.
I'm not paying 7 times the price if I'm seeing
exactly
the group.
Yeah. So that's what happens. So then you take a call, and what happens was that everybody was in a different stage of life. I was married with 2 children, growing up children. My needs were different. Saurabh Pant, his needs were different. A young comedian like Sahil, his needs are totally different. He's saying, I don't care. I want to go on stage. Let's have fun. I'll say, no, boss, I need to have fun. I need money also. I have the bills to pay. I have my kids' college fees to pay. So everybody had different stages in life, Yeah, so I think as long as everybody sort of, like at AIB, they sort of worked longer because all of them were similar ages. All of them unmarried, all of them similar ages, same focus kind of thing was there. And I think everybody has its time sort of thing, I mean, that it was that time thing of collective. Maybe it may come back again. Maybe a collective may come back again.